I have been a little bit asleep at the wheel these past couple days, so I got a lot of news to catch up on. I apologize for going so many days without making a video, but let's get into the news, shall we? So the first big news story that I am very much behind on is Hada of Nijisanji, Korea, letting us know that she will be going on a short break because, long story short, a car crashed into their house and there's been massive damage done, so she won't be able to do any streaming activities until she gets everything fixed, and I know that it is safe for me. So, obviously, a horrible situation, and it looks like later we did get an update as to this situation saying there was no injuries to anyone inside the family. She can't say too much, but she can say that her backyard has been totally punched through. She also mentions that at the time of the crash, Hada was in the backyard streaming room, so had the car continued to plow through, she might have been completely unalived that day. Very scary. Apparently what had happened is two unlicensed underage kids stole a car, drove it, and smashed it into the house and then fled the scene. Genuinely horrific stuff. And it is an absolute miracle that nobody was hurt. The next thing that I wanted to cover is Vermillion making a post in Korean. But if we take a look at his actual tweet, he goes on to say that he would like to apologize to Koreans for some of the words that he said to Zion. He had unintentionally offended the Korean community with his word choice when using some random Korean words that he learned. And he's going to make a promise to study Korean harder and make more careful statements in the future. And for anyone wondering what that tweet is about, apparently he told Zion, "your mom" in Korean. But the thing is, this version of "your mom" has like incel values to it in Korea. He told her it meant stepmom, and she started saying it in a stream with Maria. So basically spreading incorrect and a moderately offensive Korean. Obviously, the English-speaking community doesn't see where the big deal is considering this, but then again, the English community isn't really the one offended, so it's unsurprising that they are totally confused. Let's take a look at some of the Korean responses and see what they think. And after reading through a couple of Korean tweets, it seems that a lot of the Korean fans are on Ver's side after this apology, acknowledging that he realizes he made a mistake, apologized in Korean, and at this point, any continued ridicule is just blatantly being needlessly mean. And this Korean VTuber fan going on to say that the trend of beating and ridiculing people every time they make a mistake is really disgusting. Do you think it's so shocking and horrifying that a foreigner misuses Korean slang? Is it really normal to go after someone this hard and ridicule them? And I've seen a lot of takes like this where a lot of Korean fans are coming to Ver's defense, saying that it doesn't make sense to mock a foreigner for not understanding a language that they literally do not speak. Luckily, it seems that the harassment he was receiving was a vocal minority and not representative of the larger Korean fan base, which I'm very happy to hear. And the last tangentially related VTuber news that I wanted to cover, a lot of VTubers are getting so fed up with Twitch and their terrible ad rev split, complaining about how gross it is, that they're going out of their way to make entire documents on better ways to support their favorite streamers. Now, a lot of the stuff in this document is relatively common knowledge, basically going over how the fact that Twitch takes half of your sub money is super gross, and pointing out that you can make direct donations in Streamlabs, Ko-Fi, Patreon, Subscribestar, supporting them through sponsorships, etc., etc. Most of this stuff is common knowledge in our community, but the fact that people are so sick of Twitch that people are creating documents outlining how to not give Twitch money, I feel like says a lot about the state of the platform. Brief video intermission here. I just wanted to let you all know that I have actually written a light novel called Writing on Midnight. You can find the link to this light novel in the description below. If you purchase it, it would really support the channel. Back to the show. Moving on from VTuber news onto general entertainment news, I wanted to give a quick update about a story that I've been covering off and on again, and that's the D&D OGL. Apparently the OGL 1A will remain completely untouched, and the entire SRD 5.1 is now available under a Creative Commons license. And a lot of people are celebrating this, seeing it as the final nail in the coffin of this whole OGL fiasco, and going on to applaud people in the community for showing their support and keeping the pressure on Wizards of the Coast until they completely and totally buckled. But despite the fact that a lot of people see this as an absolute W, some people are feeling jaded and saying that they will never trust Wizards of the Coast ever again. The bridges have been burned. Their status as a fan is gone forever. So to the people who've been following this debate, I'm curious what you think. Has your relationship with Wizards of the Coast been permanently severed, or are you going to go back to D&D now that they appear to have completely buckled? So the next piece of entertainment news that I wanted to cover is that The Last of Us is being adapted to live action by HBO. Very exciting. It's a great video game series, but a lot of people are not so excited about how Season 2 is going to be following The Last of Us Part 2, as many fans despise Last of Us Part 2, including myself. And to give you an idea of what people think about Part 2 also being adapted, I feel like this quote kind of sums up the general consensus, saying, "When I tell you I would rather sit on a hot grill than be gaslit into believing the Fireflies are good people again," referring to a rebel group that existed in the game as enemies in the first game and were later humanized in the second game. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is apparently NVidia has created a new AI-based tool for streamers that allows them to maintain eye contact with their audience while also reading the chat box. And I have to say, genuinely, who is this for? Bro, nobody maintains permanent unbroken eye contact with their chat if you are a normal person. The only reason my avatar maintains perfect unbroken eye contact is because that's a checkbox in the settings that I put on. But when it comes to real people, like flesh and blood humans, it looks really weird for there to be constant unbroken eye contact, especially when it comes to things like this, where the creator is very clearly looking at their phone, but with this new plugin, they would stay looking at their screen instead of at the phone that they're very clearly meant to be looking at. It looks awkward and weird, and even though I think it works great for an avatar, I think when it comes to a normal person, it's very Uncanny Valley-esque. And it appears I'm not the only one who shares this opinion. It seems like every comment that I read above this says, "This looks unnatural. This is so unnatural. Cool, a thing no one was asking for and doesn't solve any actual problems. Thanks, NVidia." No one is really supporting this new technology, and I have to wonder who they built this for. And as I'm starting to want to do, I wanted to end the video by showcasing an animation made by Orbitten just because I think it is hilarious. So instead of my usual outro, I'm going to play this animation. Please subscribe to Orbitten. They have a fantastic channel. All their animations are spectacular and worth a watch. Go subscribe. That's all I got for you today. Bye, guys.
Like, you know meme?
Yeah, like a meme. Yeah.
Like a meme. Like, you know how it's spelled? Meme?
M-E-M-E? Like meme?
Yeah, just don't ever put a K at the end. This is a warning! No, I'm teaching him so that he does not make a mistake.
Meme, but with a K in it at the end. Mimic?
Yeah,
like mimic?
No, don't say it!
Mimic!
Don't say it now!
Mimic!